Well, look who's back at it again. If you don't already know who I am, hi, I'm Soul. I draw sometimes. And today I guess I'll do a Q&A. I have composed a whole bunch of questions, and I also asked people if they had any questions that they wanted to ask me. And I don't really know how to start this. I guess I'll just start with the few that I usually have under my videos or in my Twitch Q&A. So the first question I have is, what art program do you use? I personally use PaintTool and Clip Studio Paint. There's no real reason why I use PaintTool and Clip Studio specifically. I just like sketching in PaintTool and then I already have coloring brushes in Clip Studio, so I just continued to use Clip Studio after I was able to get PaintTool. So the next question I have is, what is the resolution of your canvas? The canvas that I start with is usually somewhere around 2000 by 2000 pixels, or it's 3000 by 3000 pixels with 300 dpi. I use 300 dpi because it's what printing quality is. So if I wanted to print something that I drew, then I could absolutely do that. If I don't, then it's fine. The next question is, how long have you been drawing? I have been drawing seriously since 2011? No, it's not 2013. It's definitely 2011. That would be 13 years? Yeah, I think it's 13 years. Next question is the average hours for an art piece. Okay, so this is definitely going to be different depending on what the art piece is, but generally saying, like, if I'm doing flat color or something, it's going to be around maybe like 20 to 25 hours. And then if I was rendering something, it's going to be somewhere around maybe 40 to 60 hours. I know this Speedpaint specifically was around 50 hours. It probably was around 60, but what I have as footage was around 50 hours. So we're just going to say it was somewhere around 50 hours. Okay, what brushes do you use? I, in Clip Studio, use two brushes mainly. I have quite a few brushes, but I don't actually use them quite often. But the two that I use is a oil paint brush that I have named Coconut Oil, and then I have a watercolor brush which I use to blend out stuff that is called Caramel Flan. Yes. And then in PaintTool I use a paintbrush to sketch. I used to use the default pen tool to sketch, but now I use the brush tool. But I think the default brush tool has 100% opacity, but I turned down the opacity to 80. So yeah, I used the brush tool in PaintTool, the default brush tool, and then I change it to like 80%, I believe. The next question I have is pertaining to my YouTube channel. So you've probably been wondering why I've been gone for so long, because there's a ginormous gap between the last speed paint and then a video that I posted just for fun, and then the first speed paint since then, which is 6 years in between. Which it's not really supposed to be 6 years in between. I did post a speed paint in 2021, but again, as I said in a previous speed paint, I don't know how comfortable I am having my OCs around people, so I kind of privatized all of those videos. So, oh gosh, it's not supposed to be that long because there's 2 videos in between there. But since 2020 was kind of active, and then 2021 I posted, and then I just didn't post, and that was because I was in university, and I came back because I'm home and I have nothing else to do, so I just have footage. So because I can't find employment, I might as well just post speed paints while I wait to hear back. And that last question kind of goes into the next question, which is, what was my degree? I feel like a lot of people would expect me to have the degree of fine arts, but I don't have a fine arts degree. I actually have a degree in music, because Oh, that's also my next question. My dream job is I want to work for some AAA game company in the music department because most of them, or at least what my ears believe, most of them hire musicians to record the soundtrack of the video game. So specifically, I want to work with Capcom. Because as you can see, the only game video that I have on this channel is actually a Monster Hunter video, and I am a huge fan of Monster Hunter, so my biggest dream is to be hired to play with whatever ensemble. I think it's an orchestra. I believe it would be an orchestra and not a wind ensemble. But I would love to be part of that orchestra that works on the soundtrack for a Monster Hunter game. The last question I have on here is, where can I find your commissions and commission info? Okay, so you can find my commission info in two places. One of them you have been seeing in my videos, the last two videos, which is my Ko-Fi. Those are my discount slots. So usually I will put out a discount slot when I actually really need money, and I just so happen to be in a position where I really need money because I can't really find employment and I can't really take all forms of employment because, long story short, I do have a lot of health issues and most jobs require you to stand, and I personally cannot stand because I have spinal issues. So yeah, I have hip and spinal issues where I can't stand, and so my job choices are very limited, and I am not hearing back from those job choices that I am able to work at. So yeah, I do have some discount commission slots if anybody is interested in me drawing their character. But for the regular commission slots, they are on VGen, and I'm going to need your help because if there are slots that you don't really want on Ko-Fi, but you know I offer something different, then those are usually on VGen. Like, for example, I don't have a discounted slot on Ko-Fi for my regular chibis, which is what this video is. Well, not necessarily. I'm not going to line it. I think that is more money being shelled out from you for something that I usually don't do unless I am doing merchandise that requires me to do line work. So I have sketch chibis, which are extremely clean. They have passed for line work before, but my sketch chibis, you cut down the time, so it's going to be cheaper. And those are on my VGen. I believe I have flat color chibis also on my VGen, but there's two slots on my Ko-Fi that are slightly discounted. They're like $10 less. And then what else do I have? Oh, okay. I have chibi headshots that are open, and then I have vinyl sticker chibi commissions, which you get real merchandise of your character if you get that. So, please consider. I do need the money, and yeah. But let's move on to questions that have been asked by other people. So, the next question, which is, what is your star sign? And I feel like a lot of people who are familiar with star signs would probably be able to guess. I am an Aquarius, but I'm also a Cancer moon. So Aquarius sun and Cancer moon. Okay. The next question from the same person, because only two people ask questions, but the next question from the same person is, how many languages do you speak? I am fluent in English. I have tried to learn Spanish, I have tried to learn Japanese, and I have tried to learn Norwegian. And currently, I am learning German. I picked up German while I was in college. Und ich spreche Deutsch, aber meine Deutsch ist nicht so gut. So es tut mir leid. So thank you, Aria, for the last two questions. And the next few questions, well, I think all of the next few questions is from Rika, my beloved friend of 8 years. And so she asked, what is my favorite Clip Studio Paint functions? And so I would say my favorite Clip Studio Paint functions are probably the 3D model and the fact that you can change the color profile of the canvas. So what I mean when I say changing the color profile of the canvas is you actually can see it on the top of the video. Hopefully this is in Clip Studio Paint when I actually say this, but in the video at the top you will be able to see that it says CYMK Japan Color 2001, which is me looking at it as if it was in CYMK, or it's cyan, yellow, magenta, and then black. And that's different from RGB, which is red, green, blue, which is the one that you start with. So all of your printed stuff will automatically be turned to CYMK if you are printing something, but usually companies, which I got this is a standee. I got it printed with Faux Grace, which this is not sponsored. Obviously, I'm not big enough to be sponsored by anybody, but I got it printed with Faux Grace. Please buy it from me. I spent a lot of money and never sold anything. Boo. But I got it printed from Faux Grace, and one of the things that you need to do when you are working with Faux Grace is have your file in CYMK for them to print. And I usually do this by taking a PSD that is already in CYMK because you can't really do it in Clip Studio. And I take that PSD that is already in CYMK, and then I will put my stuff on it, make sure that the resolution is correct. They want 300 DPI, and you will take your artwork, you put it on there, and then once you have your PSD with all your stuff, maybe it's a charm or maybe it's a standee, once you have that done, then you will export it. Well, you won't export it, but you will duplicate it, and then you will name it something else. And then that way, instead of when you would export it where it would automatically go to RGB, when you duplicate it, it will stay as a CYMK PSD. So then you can send it off to Faux Grace and it'll be fine, and they'll send you your proofs and everything will be fun for both you and them, because they don't have to actually change anything in your PSD for it to be the right color profile. They might have to change something, I don't know, but they definitely won't have to change the color profile because it'll be correct. You can also do this in Photoshop, but I don't have Photoshop, so I'm gonna do the best I can in Clip Studio. Yeah. And then there's also the 3D models, which the 3D models I always use as a reference. I don't remember if I used a 3D model reference. I think I did sometime in the beginning of this video, but you will be able to use it as a reference, and I really, really like that, because then I can just like, oh, okay, I have this pose, I don't really know what it would look like, let me check the anatomy, blah 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 blah, and then just make kind of roughly what it looks like on one of the 3D models. I'll pose it and then copy it and then throw it onto my side canvas, and then I'll be good to go. So yeah, those are my favorite two in Clip Studio Paint. I don't really know a lot of the Clip Studio Paint functions because I don't use a lot. I use the bare minimum in Clip Studio. But yeah, the next question is my favorite Pokemon Miku design. I personally like the dark type Miku and ground type Miku. There really is no reason why, I just really like them. Those are my faves, personally. Okay, the next one is 3D models versus real photo references. Personally, I like... Okay, this is not a debate on... Before I answer this is not a debate on if 3D models is better than real life photos. I'm not speaking for everybody. I am personally speaking for myself. This is my own opinion about when I'm looking for references for poses or anything. Personally, I think I like real photo references better than 3D models, and here's why. There are a lot of body types out there, and there is a lot of stuff out there that you will have 3D references, 3D model references of, but I personally feel like studying from real life is the best option between the two, because sometimes the anatomy is not the same as real life. And so I feel like when I'm looking at references, I understand more and it looks more correct when I study real life than when I study off of a 3D model or when I use a 3D model to check my anatomy. I personally think that I do much better when I'm looking at a real life photo. That is not to say that 3D models are not really, really good for pose references. In a speed paint that is coming up soon, and I am drawing my D&D character, you will see that I use a 3D model to correct my pose. So I am not saying that I don't use 3D models and that 3D models are bad, blah 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 blah. No. I just personally prefer, if I can find a real life photo of that pose, I will most likely be using the real life photo over the 3D model because I feel like the anatomy is better. Okay. The next question she gave me is, do I have a Twitter artist or a Pixiv artist as inspiration? The ones that I wrote down are all the ones that are current. Yeah, I'll just say the current ones because I didn't even write down the ones that I had when I was little. Okay, so personally, I don't have like a inspiration where, and you might be wondering, like, what do I mean by like inspiration? When I say that, I mean I don't have like a specific art style that I'm trying to go for going forward. If there's anybody that is my art style inspiration right now in terms of I want to draw like that, it's myself. I want to draw like myself right now. I don't want to change my art style. I don't want to change anything about it in terms of sketching and line work. And most of the coloring, I don't want to change anything. So my inspiration is mainly myself. But in terms of other people that I'm like, oh my god, your art is so good, or I kind of wish I could color like that. I need to steal X, Y, and Z coloring, like how you color that thing. There's definitely a few people, especially for hair. My old friend Princess Kitten, and I believe they went by Nyanpaya not that long ago, but they didn't remember me, which is really sad, considering there's speed paints on this channel that prove that we were friends. But other than that, we also have DMs. We literally were close. But other than that, that was distressing. But anyway, Nyanpaya or Princess, if that is the same person, Alice, I really, really, really adore how they shade hair specifically. It's literally so shiny. I wish that I was able to have that much color, have that much vibrancy, and then have it be so shiny like that. Truly, 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 I absolutely adore how they color hair. And I remember, I should probably look at the Altair art. Atelier? Altair? I don't remember that game's name. But I remember the art in that game was one of their big inspirations, so I probably should focus on looking at that art. I forgot who the rest of their inspirations was, but I know Atelier was. I know that was one of their big inspirations. So yeah, they're one of my inspirations for wanting to color hair. I really want to color like really, really shiny hair. That's really what I want personally. I feel like my hair is shiny the way that I color hair, but I feel like it's kind of metallic shiny and it's not as colorful as I want it to be. I'm learning, or at least what I want is to learn how to have good depth but also vibrant colors at the same time, because I feel like when you go very close to like black, you lose the vibrancy of the color. Or like having those dark colors in the depth. I think it's more of a thought process of where to put that depth than, you know, the depth itself. I've been using grayscale recently to help me figure out where I want to put the darkest colors and figure out where I want to put that depth, but also if I do have the depth of colors that I need for it to not only look visually appealing, but to also have the depth that I want. So usually I'll go ahead and check with grayscale, usually at some point in the drawing, and I think I did that in the last Speedpaint, so you can see me doing that. But the Speedpaint was a little bit before I did that. Oh, actually no, this was the first time I actually did that. So we're not too far off. Okay, I have more people, don't worry. The next person on the list is Tessu, which is another friend that I had back in the day who I don't remember where she is. I don't know where she is. I don't know if she's still posting online, but she had most adorable chibis I have ever seen in my life. They were so vibrant. I have never, ever seen a person use such vibrant colors and just use them and have them locked down. They were working for her. She was not working for them, and it always looked good. I've never in my life seen anybody use max brightness and max saturation colors and make them look visually appealing like she used to, or like she probably still does. So wherever she is, first of all, hi. I'm not mad at you. I feel like mini story time. I believe that she left her friend group for mental health reasons, and that's so valid. I was reading DMs the other day. I wouldn't have changed anything I said. Whatever you do that makes you happy, it makes me happy. I feel like you shouldn't have to weigh yourself down with a whole bunch of stuff just, you know, just for the memories. And I feel like even breaking off friendships amicably to be able to grow as a person, if people are truly your friends, they will understand. And well, okay, I would love to see what she's doing. She's truly a sweet person, honestly. I hope she got the help that she needed. But anyway, back to art. Personally, I think her chibis and her art was so vibrant, so pretty. The use of saturated colors, so saturated. Definitely, I wish I could draw chibis like she did. But I will stick to my own chibi style, even though I might try to figure out how the hell she was using the colors that she was and it not be eye-blisteringly bright. Okay. Next person, Tururi, who is also, is he still going by Clem? Anyway, Tururi, Clem, the most also vibrant art. I really adore his art style a lot. I think it's really lovely to look at, and one of my favorite pieces is one of like his drawings of his OC Dizzy, and like, oh my god, the lighting, the shading, how everything looks so soft, but like soft everywhere that it needs to be. It's so, I love it so much. And like Tururi is actually on my people to commission list because I desperately would love to see them draw my Bounty Hunter OC, because I think that he would look very good in his style, and I hope that one day I can save up money to be able to commission it because his prices are not that cheap. And that just means I need to save. Okay, next person is Maury Evans. I absolutely adore Maury Evans' art. It's just the whole composition of it all. The colors. It's like, it's not too saturated, but like it's something that I would expect to see in an RPG. Like, it's so nice. And I super appreciate how Maury Evans draws muscular women. Like, it's not this dainty muscular, like it's muscular. It's like, I'm built sort of muscular, and you are one of the very few artists that I've seen actually draw muscular women with like blocky frame. And so I honestly appreciate the knights and like the Street Fighter and like everything, and like the beefy women in your art. Fucking love you, Maury Evans. Next person is somebody that has actually been on my list for quite a long time. I would say Krenz, also known as Krenz Kushart. I think Krenz Kushart? I hope that's correct. Crayons, oh my goodness, the coloring style of crayons, I would kill somebody to be able to use complementary colors like that. I believe it's complementary colors. I know it's like, if there's like a lot of reds, there will be a lot of blues and greens. His coloring style is absolutely insane. And the fact that he is a art teacher also helps, because I feel like now that I have remembered this information, there has to be somewhere that he goes through his thought process of how he chooses colors and how he places colors with intention. I need to know, and I probably should go watch a video on it. My last person on this list is Oku, also known as, I don't know how to say Oku's display name, but well, Oku is their display name. I think it's all RM Flaha? Anyway, Oku. I actually have backstory. I used to play a game that Oku drew for. Yes, when I was in middle school, I used to play Seven Nights. If you don't know what Seven Nights is, Seven Nights, which is no longer available, it's a Korean mobile game that had a North American server, it had a JP server, it had a Korean server, I think it might have had a Chinese server, but it had lots of servers, and I personally got into it when I was playing on the English server. But oh my goodness, Oku's art circa 2019, or like not even 2019, hold on, circa 2016, 2017, whatever. Most influential, most memorable, most nostalgia inducing art for me personally, because that's just art that I saw a lot when I was young. So like personally, Oku is like one of those artists that has really been somebody that I like look up to when I was younger. And unfortunately, I don't agree with Oku's tactics right now with, you know, the crypto bros. Why are you appealing to crypto bros? I do not know. But anyway, while Oku was working at Netmarble, I personally, that's like the most influential era for me. And I still like Oku's art. I still love Oku's art. I just wish Oku would stop working with crypto bros. But anyway, yeah, I think that is all of my questions that I have written down here. So thank you to everybody who sent in questions, and thank you to me for writing down most of the questions that got answered on here. And also thank you everybody for 100 plus subscribers. That is insane, but it's also kind of terrifying because all of it came in the same week. So like, that's kind of scary, but also thank you. So yeah, if you have any more questions, or like you have a question that wasn't answered, please leave it in the comments below, because I will probably be doing this again when we have 200 subscribers. So please leave your questions down, and hopefully you will still be here when we reach 200. That probably won't be anytime soon, but you know what? It's fun. It's fine. We're here. And also, before I stop talking, I would love it if you visited my Etsy shop, or you considered commissioning me, or like giving me money. I like money. I don't get that much money from Twitch, and I don't get that much money. I don't actually get money from YouTube. I don't get paid to be here. So yeah, if you can support me in any way, whether it be commissions or just a donation on Ko-Fi, that would be very, very helpful, because I have to pay student loans every month, and I can't just get employment anywhere, so that would be nice. But if you enjoyed, you know, stick around, stay here, and I will see you next time. Hopefully next time is rather me drawing a commission or me drawing my OC. So I'll see you next time. Yay!